The small lakeside town of Riverview was famous for its crystal-clear waters and picturesque summer days. Every year, families flocked to Lake Serenity to swim, picnic, and bask in the sun. Among the locals, there was an unspoken rule: never swim after sunset. Jenny and her friends, Mark, Lisa, and David, were in their final summer before heading off to different colleges. Determined to make this summer unforgettable, they decided to break the rule and go for a night swim. The water was surprisingly warm, and they laughed and splashed under the moonlight. After a while, Mark suggested they swim to the floating dock in the middle of the lake. Jenny hesitated, remembering the local legends about the lake's curse, but she didn't want to be the one to spoil the fun. Halfway to the dock, David suddenly cried out. "Something touched my leg!" he shouted, his voice trembling. The others laughed it off as a joke, but David's face was pale with fear. "It's just the weeds," Lisa said, though she sounded unsure. They continued swimming, but an uneasy feeling settled over them. The water grew colder, and the once calm surface began to ripple ominously. Jenny felt something brush against her foot, something cold and slimy. She kicked it away, her heart pounding. "Let's turn back," she said, but when she looked around, she realized they were alone. Mark and Lisa were gone. "Mark! Lisa!" Jenny and David called out, but there was no response, only the eerie silence of the night. Panic set in, and they swam back to shore as fast as they could. As they reached the edge, they found Lisa lying on the sand, unconscious. Mark was nowhere to be seen. They dragged Lisa out of the water and tried to wake her, but she remained unresponsive, her skin icy cold. David looked back at the lake, his eyes wide with terror. "We need to get help," he said. The locals whispered about the curse of Lake Serenity, a tale about a vengeful spirit that haunted the waters, claiming anyone who dared to swim after dark. Jenny and David never spoke of that night again, but every summer they placed flowers at the edge of the lake in memory of their lost friend. As the years passed, Riverview continued to attract tourists with its promise of idyllic summer days. They ran to the nearest cabin and banged on the door until a bleary-eyed old man answered. Seeing their state, he quickly called for help. The local authorities arrived and searched the lake, but there was no sign of Mark. The next morning, Lisa woke up but couldn't remember what happened. She only recalled a cold, bony hand grabbing her ankle and pulling her down. Mark was never found, and the town mourned his loss.